welcome to the historic Paramount Theater. We're really excited to be part of Hump Day history and take you on a behind-the-scenes tour. We're going to head inside now, and you'll get to meet our theater manager, Sam Dio, and he's going to show you our projector. Come on in.
Hi folks, how's everyone doing today? My name is Sam Dio. I'm the front of house manager here at the Paramount Theater, and I'm very excited to give you guys a quick tour of one of my favorite spots in the theater. If you guys didn't know, our theater was built in 1929. It was the first theater in Austin to feature talkies, basically sound and film together. We have been around playing movies until about 1975 when we transitioned over to a nightclub, bar. We've been through a lot of different history. Let me bring you up to our projector room. We've shown films including Al Jolson, the jazz singer. We've shown our last film here as a first-run theater was The Godfather 2. We've been working towards, in 2001, we started a renovation process. When we originally came here, most of everything had been painted over. Black, red, yellow. None of the original molding was still here, and it took us about 10 years to bring the theater back to its glory. This is our balcony. It actually seats about half of our crowd. All of these seats here were bought in Rochester for about $5 a pop, which I think is a great deal. We are currently opening up a brand new museum featuring a lot of our old antiques that we're very excited to show the public. But let me show you guys a quick sneak peek. So we're gonna go up here. This is our projector room here. As you can tell,
sorry guys, I'm
stairs
gonna try to
are
go a little
tricky.
slower. So this door is normally locked, and these stairs look very similar to the ones we did last week with the Hormel home attic.
So, first thing I'd like to show you guys is our original spotlight room. This housed a large spotlight, and as you can tell, this is the best view in the house. During shows, I love to come up here and get a good view. So we had a single man operating a large spotlight. Back in the day, one spotlight was only what was really necessary. But as you can tell, great view of the theater. Let me show you guys the next very hidden special room. So as we move along this way, this is where the magic happens. These right here are super simplex carbon arc projectors. They're circa 1950s, and they were used up to 1975 when the theater was sold. They use an old welding technology called carbon arc. That means two carbon rods are forced together. And this here, carbon arc projector, burns at 6,000, and just 2 feet away, you've got film right here. That means we required 2 projectionists to be in the building at all times. In fact, they couldn't even leave this room. That's why we have a bathroom installed in this room. We took it very seriously. Another few fun facts about these projectors is these weren't actually our originals. These were brought in 1950, but the originals were much, much larger. There were another two, but the battery, the engine that ran the projectors, this is the battery that runs these ones. The other battery for the old projections took up an entire room next door. It was, and as you can see, we've been downsizing in technology for years and years and years. So,
Speaking of that, do you want to explain our current projector?
yeah, we have a state-of-the-art projector. It's an Epson, and it is a lot more simple. You can run a movie from all the way down in the sound booth. It makes our lives a lot easier. It burns a lot brighter, and has increased our quality tenfold. This actually shoots film at landscape, but these here shoot portrait. So we had to get a whole new screen in order to run these new movies. And we've run all sorts of movies. Last year we did a weekly movie, and we're waiting for the moment to be able to do it again. We were very excited to be able to give this chance to show this very special room. As you can tell, it's got a lot of memories. I don't know if anybody else knows, but the Paramount has been rumored to be haunted. Back in it had to be 40s, we had a film projectionist named George. He ran movies for about 15 years here, and our old front of house manager, Scott Anderson, has had multiple run-ins with George, the ghost. Let me show you a quick photo here. In the paranormal world, they call these lens flares, and it's actually an orb that's not actually there. We don't have any lights that would replicate a moon, and so that's what we think is George saying hello from, the projector room. He's never given me any trouble, but it's fun to think about. Few more factoids. During our years as a disco bar era, that was actually our mirror globe. As you can tell, it's a lot bigger, but this was used as a dance hall. All the chairs were taken out, and the floor of the theater was actually raised up to a level plane for people to dance on, which is very interesting. In fact, in between everything, in the middle of the theater was a big square bar that was taken out years and years ago. I think it was 1989, I believe, was when it was taken out, and it's been quite the process getting the theater back to its original form, including molding, painting. A lot of this stuff has been thanks to a lot of good volunteers, sponsors, and a lot of this was done by Austin community members. I mean, it's been a long project, but has come to fruition with such a gorgeous theater. We're very excited to show it off too.
Sam, can you show us the rewinding station?
Absolutely.
Film that's over there?
Absolutely. Film was actually brought in through train, and we hired high school students to bring it from the train into our projector room, and each film weighs quite a lot, but film itself here is very particular. Film is recorded backwards and upside down. And so in order for us to get it right every time, if we wanted to replay something, just like a VHS, we have to rewind it. So we have a pretty simple system here, but as you can tell, this is a 20-minute reel that needs to be rerun. And so, I couldn't tell you what's on this film actually. I think it's George of the Jungle or something. But yeah, this is how we would rewind our film. Very simple, very quick, but that's the way we like it. We've also got an old, that's what happens if you stop paying attention. We've also got a old cashier ticket, vintage, of course, here. I'm not sure if it still makes the noise, but yeah, this would send out change. Tickets back in the day were 10 cents for students and 50 cents for adults to go see a movie, which is fantastic. We also had some of the funnest concessions too, including chili dillies, which were pickles on a stick. Doesn't sound very appetizing nowadays, but back in the day it was all the craze. This is also considered, is what we call our splicing table. Splicing is when you would have to edit a film by hand. You would slice open that film and cut it usually in a vertical, and then tape it back together. And if you're good at your job, it's seamless. You won't even be able to tell. A lot of that is used to put in ending markers, so the projectionist knows when to stop the film. Projectionists back in the day, they got a script, they got the film, and they had to follow through as the movie went, because when on their script it said, this is when you change your film, this is when you change your film. And that would happen 3 to 4 times per movie. So it was a constant moving about. There was actually a union for our projectionists because it was such a desired job back in the day. Very cool. Plus you got to see all the brand new movies. We actually are pretty proud of this. The theater itself is was prepared for talkies or film with sound. We were prepared for it not to hit, with movies not being successful. We have a whole space prepared to put in an organ, just in case. But since talkies were a huge hit, we continued with the system we had, never had to put in an organ, which we're happy about. We've got a lot of history. We actually replaced a theater here named the Park Theater that was torn down in 1928 by a tornado. A large part of the theater actually ended up in the Hormel parking lot. Even parts of the organ landed in blooming prairie and parts of fields. That's how devastating this tornado was. But within a year, Wagner Construction, for about the grand total of $500,000, built our theater. Now, it doesn't sound like that much, but nowadays that's in the tone of $3 million. That itself is saying a lot. We put the state of the art. Wagner Construction built it, and it was designed by Ellerby & Co. They also designed theaters in Rochester and stadiums in Minneapolis, all sorts of very historic buildings. So, yeah, we're very proud of our theater. Does anybody have any questions?
Dorothy Krob just said that Harold Davison was the projectionist for decades.
Yeah.
We, his kids, did not get in free. We did visit the booth often.
Yes, Dorothy Krob, I heard quite a few stories, and I was excited to hear. It's simple facts that our community members have history in this building. A lot of our patrons have parents who made out in the balcony, or volunteered and cleaned up popcorn off the floor. This has been part of Austin for years and years and years, and it's exciting to still be around and available. So,
Any questions and comments on yours, Randy?
Somebody just said it was an interesting location for a toilet.
it very much so is. It's not in use now. We've turned off the plumbing up here, being that it's not really necessary. But yeah, when the projectionists were in here, they were in here for 2 to 3 hours at a time, and I'm sure they got free pop. So I'm sure used it.
Take care of business.
Quite an interesting spot. Yeah, this has got to be one of my favorite spots in the theater. We've got
Anything back there, Sam?
storage over here. This is actually where the original Paramount, the projector battery was held, or the engine was held. As you can tell now, it's a lot of storage. We keep our light bulbs in here for our large marquee. But yeah, this housed the engine that ran our projectors, but now it's a lot smaller. This is where I believe that George hangs out. There's an exit to the outside here. If you've ever been curious what this door is to, it's very sturdy.
Where does it go?
To our fire escape.
Okay.
Yep, it's not too exciting.
Wait, let me get a view.
Randy went in and got the view really well.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
So that goes straight out to the street. It gives you a good view of 4th Street. And then in here, this is part of our old HVAC system.
Here, Randy, did you want to get that? Or Holly?
So this here is part of our HVAC system. There's
Thanks,
large
Dorothy,
pipes
for tuning
and
in.
tunnels.
Make sure to let us know if you guys think of any other places we should go in town with this fun series. And make sure you give the video a like or a love quick if you haven't already.
I think we want to end on a shot of the theater, since everybody's missing getting to actually see these shows. We got a great view from up here.
Yay, love! I saw a heart pop up.